so that I don't go to the food for it. But people eat for all different emotions. But once you can pinpoint that emotion, you can deal with the emotion, because you can never feed an emotion with food.
That's true.
You just keep eating.
Yes.
And the emotion is there. And then once the eating's done, the emotion is worse.
See, I eat to reward myself. If I work all day and get something really important accomplished, I think, hot fudge sundae.
Oh, see that? Okay, so you pinpointed it. Now the question
I
is...
don't do it anymore.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
just
the
not
question
worth it.
everyone has to ask themselves then is it working for me?
I used to do that with cigarettes. So, and I quit smoking years and years
Good for
ago.
you.
So, yeah.
I have a section in here on stop smoking without weight gain.
Yeah.
Yes, how to
Yeah.
stop smoking
Oh, no,
without weight gain.
I did gain weight when I stopped smoking, but I was really very thin when I was smoking. So, you know, I don't know. A lot of things were happening when I quit smoking, so I can't really pinpoint. I
it.
really didn't replace smoking with food. I think it just changed my metabolism.
That could be. Your metabolism slows down and your taste buds wake up. So that could be, but the best thing you could do is stop smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Stop smoking. And when you decide to stop smoking, it's not the time to lose weight. It's the time to manage your weight.
That's right.
It's not the time to lose weight.
Yeah, I was going for acupuncture at the time that I quit smoking for a back problem. And I said to the acupuncturist, I want to quit smoking. Can we work on that? And she said, one problem at a time. But then she said to me, she said, if you really are going to quit smoking, you really have to do something with your hands. She said, because that's the trigger, you know, it's that. And it was so funny because I was teaching at the time, and at the time we still had chalk.
Yes.
And every once in a while, I would try to put the
Oh,
chalk
no.
in my mouth. The kids would laugh at me because they knew, you know. I would
They
talk,
knew.
Oh, well, it was high school, so I would talk to them about quitting smoking because I thought it was important for them to hear it because they all smoked.
Well, one of the things I say in my chapter about quitting smoking, and I agree with your acupuncturist, is that for the next month, maybe 2 months, everything you eat with a utensil, because you have to get rid of this habit.
Yes.
This is the habit that has to go, and you don't want to replace it with food. You don't want to go from this to this. So you just visually say, everything I eat, I'm going to eat with the utensil. So people will say to me, well, I like to eat nuts. How am I going to eat nuts?
In a spoon.
You eat it in a spoon, but I tell them put it in a salad. Get your nuts in that way. At least for a month or two. You have to get rid of this habit.
She told me to chew on popsicle sticks. And it worked for me.
Okay.
Except I had splinters in my tongue.
Yeah.
Because I would be gnawing on this stick.
I say break that habit. Break that
Yeah.
hand to mouth. And there's no need for any of us to always have something in our mouth. There just isn't.
But you know, quitting smoking was the same psychology as quitting overeating, because it was a matter of, I did it through a program that was popular at the time. I can't remember. It was a movie star, and he did 21 days to stop smoking. And the first thing was figure out the most important reason you have for quitting smoking, and write it on an index card and put it in your pocket. And that really worked.
That worked for you.
And the reason was to get healthy.
Yeah.
Because I was beginning to cough.
Oh.
And I said, this has got to go. So yeah, so it's pretty much the same kind of thing.
Right, right. Except eating, you still have to eat. You have to learn how to eat.
Yeah. I mean, I have some friends who are alcoholics, and you know, if you quit drinking, you quit drinking. You quit smoking, you quit smoking.
None of it is
You can't quit
easy.
eating.
Right. You can't quit eating. You have to eat.
Yeah, and many people will just replace one addiction with another.
Yes.
So you talk to men's groups, you talk to corporate groups. Do you go into hospitals, diet clinics?
I have.
Schools?
You know what was interesting? I have spoken to doctors about how to talk to their patients about their weight. Because what I hear from people is that, you know, my doctor doesn't understand how hard this is. He's in there for 3 or 4 minutes, and he tells me, you just have to lose weight, that's it. So I've spoken to doctors in hospitals on how to just, I know they have such a limited time, and it's probably even more limited now in the world we live in now. But there is some terminology that they can use that maybe might be more accepted by the patient that they're talking to. As I said before, anybody who's overweight knows they're overweight. They don't need to be told they're overweight. But you just need a little guidance on how to get started and how to continue.
Yes, and I think that probably, I know for myself, it's always good to start with something small. Just don't take the whole thing at one time, because it becomes overwhelming.
Absolutely.
So how did you publish?
excuse me, this one was published for me through Motivational Press. They're in California, and I blog for the Huffington Post.
Very good.
Yes, and so they liked my blogs, I guess, and they asked me to put them together. And when I started putting them all together, I realized that I could break them up into sections that would be so much more powerful for the reader rather than just putting all the blogs into a book. So they're all under themes in here. And so it's not really a book that you pick up and you read from cover to cover, although I got an email the other day from a woman who read it, and she said, because it's just new out, and it was released as the #1 best-selling new release for health teaching manuals on Amazon, which was very exciting.
Yes.
But I got a email from a woman the other day who said she started reading it and the pages just kept turning themselves. So I thought that was pretty complimentary and great for her. But it's really not meant to read cover to cover. It's really meant to, what's going on in my life right now? What do I need help with? Let me get to that section. Let me see which chapter speaks to me the most today or this week.
Which is a good way to approach it because, again, it's not overwhelming. And I have to tell you, though, nonfiction books sell much more easily. They're much easier to publish than fiction.
Is that right?
Yes, yes, because a book like this especially is, this is, it's self-help.
It's needed.
People, there are so many overweight people in this country, but even many other topics with nonfiction really sell very well, whereas fiction is, there's stories. There are a gajillion stories. Go into any bookstore.
Yeah.
And fiction is pretty difficult. So your marketing, how is your marketing going?
Well, as I said, it just started. It just was released. And my marketing is, I do a lot of television. I do a lot of radio, and I do a lot of speaking.
Yes.
So basically, that's how I'm getting the message out. That's my start.
Well, that's really, I do the same thing. I do TV, I do radio, and I do a lecture series, which is related. Some of it's about my book, and others are topics related to the book and marketing, publishing, etc.
That's great.
And
I'm going to be speaking on a cruise in July.
Oh,
Yes, we're going
a cruise.
We're going to where are we going? Norway, Iceland, and Scotland. And so I'm doing a wellness series on the cruise. And so this is not the first time I've done that.
That's great.
But this way I get to meet people from around the world, and the message gets out.
Yes, and they're surrounded by all that food.
Yes.
Cruises.
I have a chapter in here on vacations.
Yeah.
How to handle vacations.
Now, I've never found that vacations really provide me with any more food than I have at home. I mean, it isn't that I'm saying it's scanty. It's just that I'm more interested in what I'm doing than in eating.
Right.
So what's
You're
next?
a healthier person.
Yeah.
That's why. But it's so funny. As many people as I hear say they find vacations very challenging, I hear as many say it's not a challenge to me at all because I focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure, because it's exciting to go to different places. What's next? We have a few minutes.
What's next?
A few seconds.
Oh, there's so many things that I want to do and I still want to make happen. I certainly want my own television show because I want to get out and help people. I would love to do a show.
Do it here.
I could do it here. I would love to do a show like the intervention that I do in homes. I would love to do that. I think that would be a great show.
Well, it's very exciting, and I think you've really hit upon a topic that's very helpful to people. So
Thank you,
wish
Linda.
you all the luck in the world, and I look forward to, I'm going to read this.
Excellent. Excellent. It's my pleasure to be here with you today.
You're quite welcome.
Thank
It's great
you.
to have you.
Thank you.